Good evening and welcome to your Tuesday, July 2025 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. US-sanctioned individuals must not jeopardize vital US-GUYANA relations, says Congresswoman. Guyana government lobbying to keep diplomatic partners informed, says President Ali. St. George's School commissioned as an incubator for future scientists, innovators. Agricula man gunned down in suspected retaliatory killing. And crime is down, police commissioner addresses why citizens don't feel safe. Now for the news in detail. United States Congresswoman Maria Elvira Salazar has cautioned that individuals sanctioned for illicit activities must not be allowed to jeopardize the important Guyana-U.S. relations. In a statement posted on social media platform X, formerly Twitter, today, Congresswoman Salazar said, "We remain deeply concerned about efforts to undermine democracy in Guyana. As a strategic ally of the United States, Guyana deserves leaders who respect democratic values." She added individuals sanctioned for illicit activities must not be allowed to jeopardize this vital relationship. Just yesterday, U.S. Congressman Carlos Jimenez raised concerns over what he describes as Venezuela's attempt to influence internal affairs in Guyana, specifically through a controversial figure. Jimenez stated, "In the U.S. Congress, we are alarmed by the regime in Venezuela's attempt to undermine Guyana through its pro-Maduro puppet candidate Azarin Mohammed, who is sanctioned by OFAC." End quote. The remark refers to Azarin Mohammed, a Guyanese businessman and political aspirant who has been sanctioned by the United States Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control. Back in June 2024, the U.S. had sanctioned Guyanese businessmen Nazar and Azarin Mohammed, along with their businesses Mohammed's Enterprise, its subsidiary Hades World, and Team Mohammed's racing team over gold smuggling and public corruption allegations. Mohammed has announced his intention to contest in the upcoming elections under a political party he recently called We Invest in Nationhood. We're now joined by Trishelle Sobers with this report on President Dr. Irfan Ali explaining that the Guyana government's hiring of a lobbyist firm in the United States is intended to keep the country's diplomatic partners informed about threats to the country's financial stability and sovereignty. In this regard, the head of state made it clear that the United States-sanctioned businessman Azarin Mohammed is a risk to Guyana. Here are the details.
He is a risk to our financial system. I would ask the media and all its handlers to ask the commercial banks why they cannot conduct financial transactions with him. Ask the insurance companies why they cannot conduct transactions with him. He is also a threat to our diplomacy. And our diplomacy is linked to the defense of our sovereignty and territorial integrity. In those sanctions, the U.S. government has made it very clear that the U.S. government or agencies or businesses cannot conduct business with him.
That was President Dr. Irfan Ali during a live broadcast on Tuesday, where he addressed several issues surrounding U.S.-sanctioned businessman turned political aspirant Azarin Mohammed. The president's message was in response to a media report that the Guyana government hired a lobbyist firm, Continental Strategy LLC, to target the U.S.-sanctioned businessman. But the president made it clear that the government's hiring of the firm is to do diplomatic work to guarantee the Guyana's allies are well informed on any threats posed to the country. In fact, he reminded that Mohammed has been sanctioned by the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control for alleged gold smuggling and drug trafficking. Citing Guyana's reliance on allies like the U.S. for defense against Venezuela's territorial claims, the president said Mohammed's sanction threatened those critical diplomatic relationships. On Monday, United States Congressman Carlos Jimenez raised concerns over what he describes as Venezuela's attempt to influence internal affairs in Guyana, specifically through its pro-Maduro puppet candidate, Azarin Mohammed.
Is our security linked to our relationship with key allies like the U.S. in defense of our border, Yes, it is. This does not require rocket science. These are the facts. Our national security and the greatest threat is that of Venezuela. Is Azarin Mohammed a threat to the defense of this border against Venezuela? Yes, because our key ally has identified him to the extent that he is sanctioned by them. Let us not be naive about this. This is not about the government of Guyana. This is about our security, architecture, and infrastructure. And let me be very clear. These investigations were there long before he announced his political ambition or aspirations. These things did not come about yesterday.
Further, President Ali warned against the attempt by Mohammed and his affiliates to frame the U.S. sanction and scrutiny as political victimization, stating bluntly that the People's Progressive Party Civic, PPPC, is not threatened by Mohammed, labeling him, quote, a political lightweight, end quote.
Azarin Mohammed is absolutely no threat to the People's Progressive Party electoral victory. Absolutely. In his imaginative head, he may believe our support is strong, intact, and we don't need to move away from facts and what is there. So don't use your current situation that you brought upon yourself because of your action to paint a picture of political victimization. The world and every right-thinking Guyanese know that this is a total lie and far from the truth.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
After being gutted by fire some 3 years ago, the St. George's School was today officially commissioned as an institution dedicated to science studies. Michael Henry tells us more.
On July 20, 2022, St. George's High School was destroyed by fire. What had stood for over a century as a place of memories, heritage, and legacy was reduced to ashes. However, on Tuesday, the government officially commissioned the new school, which is now the first ever educational institution dedicated exclusively to science. The rebuilt St. George's School of Science, located on the same site as the original St. George's High School, was rebuilt at an estimated cost of $253.8 million. The new school is a specialized institution with a focus on medical science education. It aims to provide a clear pathway for students interested in medical fields. Speaking at commissioning ceremony, President Dr. Irfan Ali highlighted that the institution has an in-depth focus on students attaining strong results in mathematics, English, and most especially science.
Admission to this institution is not automatic, it is earned. Students must demonstrate strong competence in English, mathematics, and science, with marks that reflect discipline and potential. This school will not be a haven for idlers. Smart classrooms equipped with interactive boards, multimedia technology, and digital tools that support 21st century learning. State-of-the-art science and IT labs where students can conduct experiments, build simulations, and develop a strong command for digital fluency. Device-based learning. Every student will receive a laptop, a powerful tool of research, learning, and creativity.
According to the president, this school will serve as an incubator for future scientists and innovators. In this regard, he said there are several areas in which the government aims to take global leadership, efforts that will require a strong scientific approach.
The science of environment, the science of climate change. These are the areas we're preparing ourselves to lead in globally. And all of it requires a scientific approach. We need local talent to fill those roles. We need to train our children, not just to get jobs, but to lead industries. We are also building a national digital ecosystem, one that connects classrooms, hospitals, government services, agriculture, commerce, and industry through the power of information and communication technology.
The students attending the new school should have scored at least 80% in English, 65% in science, and 60% in mathematics to be eligible for the school. The school has been operational for about a year since it was reconstructed. I am Michelle Henry, reporting for The Evening News.
The Ogal to Eckles Highway was on Monday evening commissioned, opening a corridor of opportunities for the further expansion of the country's economic development. Details in this report.
Between this highway here, I'm not talking about going on the East Coast, this highway from where we are here, going all the way to Busby Dam. In this short space, we have 6 new hotels. You will have 6 new hotels, all internationally branded hotels. And 3 of those hotels are already under construction, nearing completion. We have 6 new hotels. You will have 5 new hospitals, public and private hospitals, just along this stretch I'm telling you, I'm talking about here. Tens of thousands of new homes, 3 massive industrial hub, and 2 massive manufacturing hub.
President Dr. Irfan Ali speaking about the opportunities that have opened up as a result of the new US $133.8 million Ogal to Eckles Highway, which was officially commissioned on Monday evening. The over 11 kilometers 4-lane road was constructed by India-based Ashoka Buildcon Limited and was funded through a line of credit from the Indian Exim Bank. It was initially budgeted to be US $106.4 million, but was increased to its current price tag to accommodate bridges, drains, an elevated surface to mitigate flooding, and an expansion of the road from 2 to 4 lanes for the entirety of the stretch. According to President Ali, while the road will significantly reduce travel time, it is not just about traffic management, but rather part of the broader transformation of Guyana's road network to keep pace with the country's economic growth.
This expansion between Rupert Craig goes all the way to Busby Dam at this instance. That is work that is ongoing, that will be completed. We then have the Aubrey Barker interconnection with the city. Then we have what we know as the Conversation Tree connection that also goes all the way to be interconnected with the new development in Commons Lodge that will be interconnected also with Eckles, interconnected by what we call the Middle Highway to Diamond, and then connected to Busby Dam. Now, we also will have very soon the interconnection of the Houston Highway. That is what we call the Houston interconnection that is under design now. That will be another 4-lane road that will connect this highway, Heroes Highway, Houston, and then goes out back again to the old East Bank Highway.
It will also extend into the new Demerara River Bridge at Providence. Further, he explained that the new Busby Dam Highway will be connected to Land of Canaan with a number of interconnections along the way, for which contracts have already been awarded. Moreover, the government has commenced the design of the connection from Land of Canaan to the new Soos-Dike-Linden Highway, which is currently under rehabilitation. This will lead into the Tamari to Good Success Road expansion, which is also already underway. President Ali explained that this is all connected into Sheriff Street, which will flow into a new 4-lane highway on the railway embankment, which will extend all the way to Mahaika. Further, the vision continues with the possibility of moving the old Demerara Harbor Bridge down river to connect Tamari with the Sandhills Road.
That road from Tamari to Sandhill will take us to Falmouth. And then we have already under construction the Parika to the Goshen Road, that is the Conte Road loop that will interconnect with this Sandhills Road that will take us into Bartica, into the interior. So we are now connecting all of the regions. So they're examining now whether the feasibility of moving the bridge downriver there. Now the Timeri Sandhills Road is going to open up hundreds of thousands of new acreage of land for housing, mining, sand mining, agriculture, and of course, large areas of forestry.
President Ali apologized for the inconvenience citizens face as a result of these projects, but emphasized that his administration is committed to building a modern Guyana that will benefit all.
Coming up, 9 months later, man charged with causing death of Port Moran teen and Agricula man gunned down in suspected retaliatory killing. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Join us for our open day at the prestigious Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School on July 11th at 10 a.m. at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport. Experience firsthand the excitement of our workshops and gain insights from industry experts. Enroll now and graduate with an associate's degree in aircraft maintenance engineering. Call us on telephone numbers 222-2155 or visit our website at aesguyana.net.
In today's tough driving conditions, every engine faces three powerful enemies: engine heat, pollutants, and frequent short trips. Each factor is a direct cause of engine sludge, a buildup of dirt that can block vital oilways. This triple threat demands triple protection. Castrol GTX's Triple Protect Power is engineered to fight these three main causes of engine sludge.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Some 9 months after a quarantine teenager passed away as a result of a motor vehicular accident, the man allegedly responsible for the incident has been charged. Details in this report from our Berbice correspondent, Andrew Carmichael.
25-year-old Shaku Batson of Rhodes Hall on quarantine appeared before Magistrate Michelle Matthias at the Albion Magistrates Court on Tuesday on a charge of causing death by dangerous driving. Batson is accused of driving motor car PAG 6823 in a manner dangerous to the public along the Hampshire Access Road on October 27, 2024, causing the death of 18-year-old Jaina Ryan Ramprasad. Attorney-at-law Sasha Roberts, representing Batson, told the court that he was not a flight risk. She said the taxi driver would attend court for trial and ask for bail to be granted. Police prosecutor Sergeant Mark Edwards, while not providing any facts on the case, said that the police was not objecting to bail. Magistrate Matthias set bail at $800,000 with the condition that Batson must report to the Albion police station every other Friday morning at 9 hours. The matter will be called again on July 15th when the police are expected to make available statements in the matter. It had been reported that on October 27, 2024, 18-year-old Rampasad of Ankerville, Port Morant, was riding a motorcycle with 15-year-old Stefan Verapin as the pillion rider when they were allegedly hit by a car. Following the crash, the two teenagers were taken to the Port Morant Hospital and subsequently transferred to the New Amsterdam Hospital. However, Rampasad was transferred to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where some 12 days later he succumbed to his injuries. It was reported that the driver of the car claimed that he was driving along the Quarantine Highway when the motorcycle CN9498 rode up from behind and hit his car, damaging his rear light in the process. The driver reportedly said that the motorcyclist did not stop, and as such, he gave chase and eventually caught up with them. However, Rampasad's mother stated that the rear of the car showed no visible signs of damage, but rather the front of the car, which hit the motorcycle, was damaged. Rampasad's mother has been calling for justice for her son. For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
Police are investigating what appears to be another deadly episode in an escalating feud between two Agricula families following the fatal shooting of 33-year-old Romel Bollers on Monday morning. Luanda McAllister has the details.
33-year-old Romel Bollers, a shopkeeper of Lot 120 Brutus Street, Agricola, eastbound Demerara, was gunned down around 8 hours 30 on Monday while tending to livestock at Lot 166 Titus Street. He was reportedly shot multiple times, including to his abdomen and shoulder, and was later pronounced dead at the Diamond Diagnostic Center. According to police, Bollers left his home around 8 hours 15 to feed pigs at the Titus Street location. His sister told investigators that minutes later, she heard persons in the area saying her brother had been shot. Upon rushing to the pig pens, she found Bollers lying motionless on his back, bleeding from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. His body bore injuries to the right shoulder, abdomen, and elbow. While police have not officially confirmed the motive behind the fatal shooting, the Evening News understands that Romel Bollers is the brother of 27-year-old Raphael Bollers, the prime suspect in the fatal shooting of Nicholas Narain, a 20-year-old laborer, which occurred just 3 weeks ago at Titus Street, Agricola. In an earlier incident, Nicholas Narain, also known as Biggs, was reportedly working in an alleyway when Raphael allegedly approached and opened fire on him in broad daylight. Narain sustained multiple gunshot wounds and died at the scene. Post-mortem later revealed that one of the bullets had pierced his heart. Narain's killing sparked outrage among his relatives and community members, who described Raphael as a long-time menace with a history of violent behavior. They also claimed that he had threatened the Narain family the night before the shooting. Just hours after Nicholas was killed, his 22-year-old brother Keon Narain was arrested and charged for allegedly carrying out a revenge shooting at the home of Gideon Bollers, father of the now dead Romel and suspect Raphael Bollers. Police said Keon rode up to the Brutus Street house on a motorcycle and discharged several rounds before fleeing. He was later arrested and allegedly found in possession of a AR-15 rifle with live ammunition. He reportedly told investigators that the weapon belonged to his slain brother and that he had targeted the house because Raphael Bollers had killed Nicholas. He was later charged and remanded to prison. With the killing of Romel Bollers now added to the deadly fear, some residents of Agricula community have expressed fear that the violence may not be over. Luanda McAllister for the Evening News.
Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken today said the crime rate in Guyana is down when compared to 2015. Luanda McAllister joins us again to report that despite this decrease in crime, the top cop has addressed why some citizens still do not feel safe.
During this week's edition of Safeguarding Our Nation, a pre-recorded program produced by the government, it was reported that the serious crimes rate is down 88%, robbery and guns is down 88%, burglaries and larceny have reduced by 93%, and murders have reduced by 63%, all within the period 2015 to 2025. However, the question was posed about people still feeling unsafe despite these statistics. In response, Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken had this to say.
Crime is down, but people still don't feel safe. How are you addressing this perception gap?
Well, see, it is true. I've been looking at the news, I've been grappling with the papers, I've been looking at everything possible. And Guyana is a small country. And whenever there's a crime, it circulates around all the news. And so it gives us work to do as members of the Guyana Police Force. Yes, we know crime is down. But guess what? The public is not feeling it because they're not engaging the police within the regions and the branches. And so at the commissioner level, we have an open door policy. At the commanders and the ELT level, subdivision level, we have open door policies. But guess what? We are striving every day to be more transparent as a police force. You can see we're improving the force through diversity. We've been putting up additional outposts. We've been filtering body cameras to the policemen to ensure there's transparency. And we're doing everything in our power to ensure that the public understand what we're doing and they can embrace us in this regard as a country.
Commissioner, what's your message to citizens who still feel unsafe?
I want to answer this question, Marcy, in a different way. Members of the public, the Guyana Police Force has changed. And so whenever you release the children to come to the Guyana Police Force, at a constable level when they pass out, they're going to have a accredited certificate. We have developed line programs still up to Commissioner of Police. And so at a junior level, junior officers course, you're going to have a diploma. When you become a senior officer, you're going to have a degree. And so when you come in the force with anything, you're going out of the force with everything that can take you beyond the retirement. This is the first thing I like to say. The second thing I like to commend, first of all, is parents of Guyana who allow the children to come and serve this nation, knowing that today they can come to work and tomorrow they may not see another day. I want to commend them for that. But very importantly, I want to talk to the public who don't have anybody in the force. They're the people that we're really looking out for by day and by night. And you see all the traffic police, they're working in the rain and out of the rain. The police working around 24 hours. They should embrace us. They're Guyanese. Very importantly, if something happens, it's the police you're calling. While we know that we can improve our basic amenities that we have and we're dealing with the public, at least you can come in to us. Don't be our enemy. Be our friends. We are your friend. We are members of the public. And of course, if you look at the chain, you'll find that everybody in Guyana related to somebody in the force, out of the force, and around Guyana. And so I'm saying now to Guyanese people, embrace the force. We are doing everything that we can do. We're developing capacity based on what is offered to us budgetarily. We're putting all the system in place to own Guyana as a police force, but very importantly, this is a friendly atmosphere with members of the public. There's no more barriers across where the public and the police can communicate.
In this regard, the top cop emphasized that the Guyana Police Force has an open door policy for members of the public.
No police is above the law. Similarly, no civilian is above the law. We have the Commissioner of Police, you can come to me. We have the ELT, you can go to them. The divisional branch commanders and every station. Why? I've placed it as a policy, open door. Everybody must access the public and the public must access the police at their levels. Very importantly for us, we have the PAC, meaning the Police Complaint Authority, that deals with when members of the public and the police are at referral. But more importantly, the Office of Professional Responsibility. They're dealing with reaching of SOPs and OPRs and the rest of it. And so if there's an issue with members of the public, let me just assure you, And if all the others fail, just stick with me. Come to the commissioner's office and I'm going to ensure it's done.
Hicken assumed his role on March 30th, 2022. After taking up his post, he said the force developed a strategic plan focused on 6 pillars surrounding development of people, infrastructure, partnership, operation, performance, professionalism, and accountability. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Lawanda McAllister.
All 24 symbols submitted by political parties desirous of contesting the September 1 elections have been approved by the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM. The submissions were made in response to a notice inviting potential contestants to submit their respective symbols no later than June 23. Nomination day is set for July 14, where the political parties would now have to submit to GECOM their lists of candidates. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Wednesday, July 2, 2025 at 21 hours 55 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 8 hours on Wednesday, July 2, 2025, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Let's now take a look at the local stock exchange market compliments of GASI. Chaudhry excited to use GSL as learning ground, and basketball and martial arts bodies endorse President Ali for second term. These stories and more coming up in this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Gold mining can be expensive if you don't have the right tools. Mining requires engines that can pump high volumes of water and slurry, the most tried and tested of which are Deutz engines. Deutz engines are among the most reliable in the world. Where can you get them? At your #1 industrial solutions provider, Sylvies. We have them in 2 to 6 cylinders, ranging from 23 horsepower to 80 horsepower. Most miners use Deutz engines because they're lightweight, use less fuel, and require less maintenance because they are air-cooled. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets, Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
On the job, you know how it goes. 1 minute everything's going right and the next something goes wrong. Don't worry, Premier Insurance will make things right again. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance coverage